But wait a second. But how do you get a male erection? That's what I want to know.
So right now I don't have an implant, so I don't have an erection, but my penis, because I use my thigh for my, the area that they took the skin from, because I use that, I have girth, it's girthy. And so it's rigid enough for penetration, but it won't stand up. But once I put it in, I just kind of.
You do your thing. And do you have, but you have, I guess you have sensation, right? Because your body is still sexually aroused. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yes,
I mean, look, you're already going to have to come back on because I could do 2 hours on this. I want to hear it all, honey. I do.
Yeah, I can talk forever.
Look, I adore you. I think you have huge, I want you to run for politics. I got a whole plan for you. I know we met like 5 minutes ago, but I got a whole plan. I think you're terrific. Okay, but tell me this, how painful are these surgeries and how expensive are they?
So I'll go to the price first. I did have insurance. So insurance paid for this. And this was like 5 years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago that I had my surgery. And I want to put out there, a lot of people like, oh, so you're using government money to get this Frankenstein surgery. But there's like, oh, well, I need this surgery and I have to pay for it. Yeah, but also monthly, I was paying almost $500 a month for that insurance plan. And so it's not that it was free because I was paying a lot of money for it, but they did cover it after I met, the deductible and whatnot. But I had to pay out of pocket, I would say around $400. And then, so the surgery, it was all covered. However, I did have to have 2 stages and the other one was covered as well, but still it was in California. I lived in Florida, so that's a lot of travel, and housing in California is very expensive. Another thing is, yeah, exactly. Not going there for a while. But if I got a quote from the surgeon that I went to, and they said if I did not have insurance, the out-of-pocket price would be $80,000.
Wow. And, when you have bottom surgery, is it like a woman's boob job where every 10 years you got to change it out? Like, is it like, in 10 years? No, really?
No. So I think because I don't have an implant, so there's nothing to take out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So unless my urethra would close, which I don't ever seeing that happen. I'm way past that stage already. But going back to the pain, it was the worst pain that I've ever experienced in my life. And if I had a taste of that pain in my life and somebody told me it was like that, I probably would have never gotten surgery. It was the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my life. So that's what I tell people in my YouTube channel. I tell them, make sure this is the thing for you, because after you have the surgery, there's no going back. And you're going to be left with scars. 100% you're going to have scars. The healing from it was the worst pain. I couldn't walk I couldn't walk on my own, maybe for about like 3 weeks. I was in a wheelchair for about 1.5 weeks in a wheelchair. I couldn't even put my socks on. I couldn't brush my teeth by myself because I had to I made a sling to hold my penis up so I can brush my teeth. But then it's like, you have to do everything with one hand because I felt like it was going to fall off. And I felt like it was going to fall off for a long time.
Oh my God. Yeah, I bet it was excruciation. Okay. Again,
I would say my legs hurt more than anything because they do take a thick piece of your skin off from your leg. So imagine you're not walking on that leg for a while. So you can literally see the muscle. Like when I first got a surgery, I can see the muscle under, and it's so gross. Oh, so nasty. It was pretty.
All
nasty.
right, let's change gears. That scene I don't want to, but I have limited time. Yeah. Believe me, I want you to be back. Believe me, I want you to be back for 2 hours. I'm not kidding, but we'll do that when the show is done. So we have to change gears. That scene with Isabel's parents where, you come out to them as trans. I mean, it's really quite a big moment actually of all in television because, it just is unbelievable, right? They're very religious. You guys are worried. did you give them any heads up? You know, that's quite a big thing to reveal to two people with a camera in their face. Was there any prep by you and Isabel if this went wrong?
No,
or
we did it at all, actually. So after, oh my gosh, that, I think the morning of when we were actually filming that scene, me and her spoke, and we were debating whether or not we should tell her parents before it even went on TV, because we were so afraid. I was like, I couldn't even sleep that night. I was terrified. I'm like, oh no, like we had our bags packed. We had our bags packed just in case they were like, oh, well, we don't want this, you know, get out the house and whatnot, whatever. So we were prepared for the worst. And I actually wanted to tell her parents before. We didn't know what we were going to do. We're like, you know, what if they think it's disrespectful because, you know, we did it in front of cameras? What if we did this? You know, how would they feel that we just bombarded them? So we're like, maybe we should tell them now before. And then, but we didn't know how to tell them. And then it's like, we're like, all right, we're here, guys. We're like, oh no. So it was such a scary moment. I was terrified all that day. It was so scary. They did not know anything. They knew nothing of it. And I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, these poor people.
I mean, their reaction was like so loving, right? What you would want for any of your loved ones, yourself. But you seemed quite skeptical. So what was that? What feeling came up for you? Why were you so skeptical of her dad?
I don't know, just because I know that he carries himself very well. So I didn't know, you know, I know his heart, it's very genuine. His heart's very genuine. He's a very nice person, but you never know how people really feel when the cameras are not there. So I was just kind of like, oh, is he still going to be nice to me? Like when we're done with all of this, when it's all done, is he still going to feel the same way? Because people are different, you know, on camera than off. So it was just like, I was still afraid. Like I was still afraid of him after I came out to them.
People online have speculated that you were insecure, very insecure. That's why you didn't really trust them. Would you say that's accurate or inaccurate?
I wouldn't say I was insecure. I was afraid. I was afraid they're going to go back on their word, because there's a lot of people, like even people that in my life and with my experiences, they're like, oh yeah, well, you know, it's always, I accept gay people, I accept trans people. And then when your child is gay or trans, it's different, you know? So it's just, how does he really feel? You know, it's not I was insecure, I was afraid. I was very afraid that maybe he didn't mean it.
How have they treated you, even, you know, off camera?
They treat me great. I feel like at times I'm closer to them than I am closer to my family. Because, you know, if I'm in Colombia, then it's like, this is my family here, and they treat me like I am family.
Is there anyone in your life or Isabella's life that doesn't accept you guys?
I don't think any. I would say nobody in Colombia. Maybe I have like a couple friends that are still apprehensive, and it's like, oh, well, you're American. I'm like, all right, well, how long are we going to keep this charade of it's because you're American? I'm like, how long are we going to keep this up? Because it's going to be like on 2 years already we've been together.
Yeah. What about too, you know, the other thing, you've gotten unbelievable support. I mean, have you, for the most part, I think positive, right? Has that been your experience?
Yes. It's for the most part, it's been very positive. I want to say that I've gotten more support from mothers than anything. So I think that's like a big, oh, wow. Like there's a lot of parents that actually support me because they do have a transgender or gay or however you identify on the LGBT plus whatnot. But it's just so much support from mothers that it makes me, I'm actually very happy. It's overwhelming joy.
Does it bother you? You know, one of the only negative things I do see online about you is some people feel that you're a scammer. You know, you are so masculine. I mean, I don't want to be, I don't want to use the right word, but I want, like, you pass, you know, I don't want to say pass because it's not that, you know what I'm saying?
That's, that if you say something about like, oh, because you passed, that is very, it's the best thing that you can say. There's no other, you can't say it any better than that you pass.
Really? Oh my God, Gabe, you made my day. Usually I'm like insulting my guests left and right. This is great. This is great.
No, actually, you say, you know, well, it's strange because you pass. You're using like the correct terminology, so that's great.
That's terrific.
Look at you.
Normally,
pinky up. That girl knows.
Yes. Call after they're like, I'm so offended. You said, oh my God, I don't know shit what to say. Okay. Okay, but that's one of the things. Does that piss you off? I mean, my God, you've been through the most painful surgery. Then for people to go, you know what? I don't believe him. That's got to be the most offensive to me. That would be like, you know what, motherfucker? I've been through hell. Like,
yeah, you know what, people. But then the other side is, well, I don't know why you're upset that people think that you're faking being trans because that means that you look manly. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not trying to scam people into think like, who is going to pretend to be trans? And how am I going to go to all this detail? Do you know, going along with that, you're not trans thing is, I was like, okay, well, how do you explain my surgery, like my legs? Because I got height surgery. So that's what they said, that I have height surgery. But I'm like, then why am I still 5'1"? I don't understand because it's not working. So I promise you, I'm trans.
What can you share? Are you and Isabel together now? What can you tell us? What's the story?
I don't know. You're gonna have to see.
You're good.
It's getting close though. It's getting close. It's getting real close. But I'm definitely excited for you guys to. It's gonna be a roller coaster. It'll be fun.
Also, you also like, I mean, you guys have such an open, loving relationship. I mean, it's really amazing to watch. And, you know, people are just praising you guys left and right, on the show, which is terrific. Yeah, it's so good. I did want to ask you too. I love that you're an entrepreneur. You found a market for underwear that really make people who are transitioning feel comfortable, specifically women transitioning to men. It's underwear that almost has like a built-in, right, what feels like a penis feels like.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
So I invented underwear for transgender female to male people, and it's basically, so you know how women wear push-up bras? Gives them a little more oomph. So basically that's what it is. It's like underwear, but for trans guys. It puts a bulge in their pants. So it has the outline. It has like the penis detail. So it has like a little head marking on it and everything. So it's like you just put them on. You don't have to strap it to your body or wear a harness, or, you know, you can wash it all in one, everything.
GMP Wear is the name of the company, right? So people can find it. We want to promote you. What's the most difficult part of being an entrepreneur?
I think trying to keep up right now I think me trying to keep up. That's what I'm really doing. Right. The most difficult part actually is just the fact that people go through my business to try and get to me. So I'll have like customers that are messaging me, but I will never see them because I have hundreds of fan mail going there. And so I think that's most difficult is me trying to actually communicate with my customers, I want to say.
Last question.
But it's bad. I'm like,
Last question for you. What else, you know, in this world where it seems like it's such a divisive topic, right? And it's crazy. It doesn't need to be when you have amazing one-on-one conversations, like with someone just beautiful like yourself. Is there something else you hope people take away from you being on this show, you and Isabel's story? Or do you think everything you could want people to understand, they're understanding?
No. I think that what people understand is just the tip of the iceberg. I think that if there were to be another transgender person, then they would have a very, very different journey and story than I would. I think because gender is a spectrum, I'm only just one little piece. But remember, a woman like you, your experience to another woman is going to be very different. So I think just having more trans people or, you know, people on the gender spectrum, I think that that would be optimal. I think that it'll be great because then you can actually learn from, you know, from somebody of a different, that come from a different life than you do, you know? We're all American over here. We're all living life. We all think it's the same, but just you being a different gender is so different. Even though people look at me as a male, they think that I have regular male experiences, but I don't. So it's just, I think that it's opening people's eyes to just the trans life, you know, like what we go through. Also that we're pretty funny. We're regular people. It's just, sometimes you don't even know we exist. And you can find love. No matter where you are on the spectrum, whatever gender you are, you can find love anywhere. Your own country, your own city, you know, just don't try so hard to look for it because it'll come when it's ready.
That's the law of the universe, right? Like whatever it is, whether it's love, when you let go and you're just open, that's when it all happens. But of course, it's hard for all of us to do that in different parts of our lives. But Gabe, please come back to the Sarah Fraser Show. I'm honored. I love watching you. It's 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, season 4, the love story of you and Isabella with some of these amazing other couples that are just getting so much discussion online. You can see it, of course, weekly on TLC on Sunday nights. I adore you. Please come back. Can we do a whole show on trans? A whole show.
Thanks so much for having me. It was fun. Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks,
it was a very interesting conversation. It was not a dull moment.
Oh my God. That's the Sarah Fraser Show. I love it.